And I knew at the end somebody would win, and I was like, if I don't win, and that's all I have to say. But
did you win?
no.
You didn't win.
But I've been winning.
This ain't no flex. I'm just sharing some stuff in my life that's working out. A podcast. Welcome to In My Bag with Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today I got a very special guest here with me. You guys probably saw her at my night at Buzz Boys and Poets Columbia. You've probably seen her at a bunch of different youth events. You've seen her empowering, impacting, and inspiring young people, old people, middle-aged people, dead people, your mama, your grandmama, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. I'm talking about the one and only Lemonade Dream. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. The curls is out and stuff like that. I was gonna wear my curls out today, but I didn't want to be the same.
You ain't want to match?
Yeah, I didn't want us to match because I was the one time when I had the DMV Renaissance here, they had their buns in, right? So rains out, buns out is what they said. And I was like, dang, I didn't get the bun memo, but I was like, let me just do it. Not even. Why are you laughing though? Why is she laughing? I don't understand. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, this is my first recording in the new year. So thank you for kicking it off. So tell us, who is Lemonade Dream?
Lemonade Dream is a 13-year-old poet, and she's been doing poetry since 2019, and she just wants to continue to grow each and every day with each and every performance.
Okay. Why poetry, though? There's so many other things you could be doing with your youthful time, but you literally said, I want to do poetry. Why poetry?
Poetry is not exactly an escape from reality, but a way to vent out. Like, if, say I'm in a bathroom and it's full of steam, it's like being able to vent out all that air, getting out all that air that's been steaming up and making the mirrors cloud. Like, it's like you're allowed to get it all out, and it's like being able to breathe when you haven't been able to breathe.
Did y'all see that beautiful poetic metaphor right there? Like, that's like, but poet, you know a real poet when all they do is talk in metaphors. It's like, I know, I love it though, because you're fully embracing it, and that's what I love about it. So it's your way to vent, it's your way to get out, right? It's your way to kind of clear the air of all of that steam. So what does poetry mean to you?
I feel like poetry is an art form, and it's like, I don't know how else to put it, but like an artist just closing their eyes and letting it all out. Just doing whatever feels right to them, feeling whatever feels right to them, and knowing it's allowed. You're allowed to feel the way you want to feel and be the way you want to be.
I love that. So when you when you're thinking about like poetry, right? Who encouraged you to get on stage? Like, who encouraged you to get on stage, or did you want to get on stage automatically? And then, what was your first time like on stage?
So in 2019, I did a poetry slam for DC Scores after I had it was like a program in my school. It was called DC Scores, and we would do soccer and poetry, but the poetry half, we ended up going to this poetry slam, and they asked for my poem at the end because this was like my first time ever doing poetry. I never did poetry, and I was terrified. I cried on the bus, but that's not the point. But once I got on there, I was like, oh my God, these lights in my face, and it's like so many people here. Jesus. And I knew at the end somebody would win, and I was like, if I don't win, and that's all I have to say. But
did you win?
No.
You didn't win?
But I've been winning.
This ain't no flex. I'm just sharing some stuff in my life that's working out. I didn't win, but I've been winning. I love that mindset. So you're and that was your first time on stage. You cried. Now that was 3 years ago. So you were what, 10 at that time, 11?
I think 11.
11. Okay. So you were on your way to it. Like, what was going through your mind though? Like are they gonna like me? I gotta be in front of, like, when people say they have stage fright, what's that feeling?
Stage fright can come, like, it could be like you just get on stage and you're like, you know what, I want to get off. That's like how it was for me. It was like, but not even just I wanted to get off as soon as I got on stage. It was like the whole time before I even was on stage, I wanted to get off the stage because I knew I was going to get on the stage. So it was just like it's like a million thoughts just running through your mind. Like, is this going to be good to them? Are they going to enjoy it?
Right.
Is this going to even amount to the people around me, what they're going to do? And it's just like, you can really get into your head about it. And it's like making you think, I don't even want to get on the stage anymore.
Right.
At the end, I still ended up doing it. And even though I stopped after a while, I got back to it. It was nice. And now I'm here.
And now
I'm
you're
proud
here.
to be here.
Proud to be here. Like,
Yeah.
So you've been, like you said, you've been winning, right? Now you don't have that fear of getting on stage no more. Like, literally, when I first saw her, I'm like, yo, who is this little person with all of this personality? Like, she's like 4'11", but her personality is like 7'2", and I'm like, what in the world is going on? So how did you be? Was there a moment that just made you more comfortable, or like, was it just you doing it repeatedly is what made you more comfortable?
I think it's both, because
Okay.
I feel like repetition, of course, but also just the different venues and stuff. It could be like, say I go to one venue and the crowd a little dry. It can discourage you, and it was doing that to me for a long time. It's just like, oh, these people don't like me, do they? They still gonna hear my stuff because I done put my name on this list.
That's right.
But dang. And sometimes that can be very discouraging. But if you go to a venue and, like, the people there are, like, good energy, and you could, like, you feel the energy in that room, you like, this is where I should be.
Yeah.
This place, maybe not made for me, but this place welcomes me.
Right.
And it's like a place where you can feel comfortable on the stage. I'm not going to say I'm not scared to get on stage, because it's still like, oh, these people, they're going to see me. But it's like more comfortable.
Comfortable, right? So you're comfortable operating in that fear, and I think that's a brilliant thing. Number one, because operating in fear allows you to grow. Number one, but then number two, I feel like I still get nervous even when I go on stage right now, and I feel like I'm pretty good at doing this, but I still get nervous, and I think it's good that you get nervous, because I feel like if you don't get nervous, that's when I feel like you don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you take it for granted. But because I love this opportunity and I appreciate this opportunity, I'm always nervous. Even though, like, it's like you said, like, I know I'm good and y'all still gonna hear this stuff anyway. But it'd be like, dang, are they really gonna rock with it? And then when I get like that one little, okay, I'm like, all right, there we go. Yeah. So like, so for me, I have like a routine that I go through before I perform. Do you have something that you go through before you perform to kind of like let your anxiety down?
I don't want to go first ever, but because I still like to feel the room. I like to know, are these people going, like, who are the people before me? Is my set going to intrigue these people? Like, if it's a whole thing, they all happy, and I come up there deaf, depression. Like, I don't want to just have everybody in a good mood, having a great day, and I'm just like, oh, who is this little girl?
Right.
Is she okay? Like, I like to talk about what's actually going on and just be real about it, but I feel like you also have to feel the room, like, because if you hear something and not always you won't, like, if you're hearing something and you don't like it, or it's not fitting the room, sometimes you'll be like, but I want them to really feel it and be like, I get that, I feel that, and, like, have somebody they can, like, really understand in that room.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody that they can relate to. So when you think about like interacting and engaging with the audience, right, and making sure that you're producing something that the audience enjoys as well, how do you write then? Like, what's your writing process? Like, are you thinking about that while you're writing, or do you think about that after you've written?
I literally just feel my surroundings, or maybe I heard one word, I heard fry, and then I started writing a whole poem about Five Guys. That's actually what I did. But literally, it's like,
You wrote a poem about Five Guys?
yes, but it's not exactly about Five Guys. Like, it's going to be about Five Guys, but it's like things about Five Guys. It's just a book of metaphors.
About Five Guys.
Yeah.
I love it. I was gonna write a poem about and I want to say it poetically, right? I was gonna write a poem about cheating. Okay, about cheating. And it was gonna be about Popeyes, because I was cheating on Popeyes with KFC, eating all of the breasts, legs, wings, and thighs. My poem was gonna be about cheating.
So interesting.
It do, right?
You like, who's this person that just came up on the stage talking about some dang on Popeyes?
Yeah.
And then you go into it, they like, oh, okay, metaphor, and it's just like,
right.
Okay.
I think I'm still gonna write it.
Still
I'm gonna bring that back. All right, I'm gonna bring that back,
it.
and I'm gonna start off and be like, I gotta confess, I've been cheating, and they'll be like, because I just got married, and so they'll be like, oh my gosh.
That she said, I got married, I have to confess.
Right, I gotta confess, I've been cheating. And then go into a poem. It's gonna be nice.
Everybody's gonna be like, hold up, didn't I just follow him on Instagram?
Right.
He got a whole wife.
Right. Let me delete him. I'm unfollowing him. I'm unfollowing him.
They're like, hold up, what's your Instagram again? At the end of the poem.
Yeah, don't follow that Brie and Jeff Instagram, because it's a lie. It's all fake, y'all. I've been cheating, and her name is Popeyes. Oh my goodness. All right, I gotta write that poem. So your writing process looks like what? So like for me, you said you like to write about like what's going on, right, in your life and society, stuff like that. For me, it's usually like kind of like you said, you heard fry and then you wrote about Five Guys, right? So like I'll take a whole concept and I'll write it, but then like what does that, like, is that the beginning? Is that the middle? Or was that like the end? Or do you kind of like figure out where everything goes?
Like, say, I'll use the same example, but I got fry, and then I'm like, all right, I just can't forget this. And it's like, I don't, like, if I have an idea in my head, especially a poetry I did, and it's just like, this has to be written down now, because if I don't write it, I'm going to forget, and I'm going to feel like I lost, like, the best poem I ever written in my life, and I'm going to just be mad. And I'm going to be like, what is this thing I was thinking? So I, like, as soon as I hear the word, I'm thinking of a poem, like, all right, let me go get my book. Let me go grab my phone. So it's just like wherever I find it, I'll put it wherever I get it.
Okay.
So like at the start, if I started there, I'm going to put it right there. If I want to move it somewhere, I most likely won't. But yeah.
Do you use voice memos? I use voice memos a lot. I used to use voice memos a lot, but because I got this iPhone now, I don't know how to work voice memos on it. It's not as good as the Android was in regards to voice memos.
I mean, I have, but that's simply to practice.
Okay.
I've also been using another app, and it's like it'll have.
What's the name of the app? You don't want to tell us? It's a secret?
I don't know how to say it. It's like Big Vu or Big VU. I'm going to just say
Big Vu?
BIGVU, because I have no clue.
Okay.
But yeah, and like it'll show, like I say I have my poem, and I'll like be able to copy and paste my poem from outside of my notes, wherever you like to put your poems.
Okay.
I'll put it there, and then it'll say all the words. It'll not say it, but it'll have it on the screen, and I can record, and I'll pick the pace it goes, so I can read my poem even if I haven't completely memorized it. So that's some stuff I use.
So it gives you like a teleprompter.
Pretty much.
Big
Good app.
Vu.
Good
All
app.
right, I'm about to download Big Vu when we get out of here. I like that. Okay, because and I feel like that's number one. That's good mirror work, and I think more people need to do more mirror work in order to get their poems down. So when you're on stage and you're performing, you said you don't want to go first. You want to kind of go like somewhere there in the middle. Where was your first feature?
My first feature was in Baltimore.
It was in Baltimore. How did that feel to like were you nervous about like a full 10-20 minute set?
Terrified because I know like my poems. I know at first I was like very scared, so I would go through my poems that could go a little bit longer. I'll be like really fast, and it's like, what did you just say? And I didn't realize I was doing it until I already got off the stage, had to listen to the recording. I'm like, oh,
That's so
I didn't mean
fast.
to do that. But I had to figure out how to stretch it out because I had the feature, and it was like, all right, let me figure out how to make this 20 work. So I was very terrified, but I did enjoy the event, and it did help.
Bring the mic closer to you because it's not picking you up. Say something now.
Hola.
Hold on, let me turn yours up. Hold on.
Should I pull it up?
It's up now. Okay. All right, you good.
Hola.
There you go. All right, perfect. What was I about to ask? I was about to ask you something. Competing. Have you ever done any poetry slams, anything like that? Oh, the smile says it all, you guys, I guess.
I've done one. That was the first one, and it was terrifying.
So your first performance, that was a poetry slam?
Yes, and then
that's what that was. Wow.
First open mic was later on, but
So, are you interested in becoming like a poet laureate?
yes, but I'm scared. But I feel like
Why are you
fear
scared?
can fuel you too. So I don't know.
Okay.
Because I'm scared because I know like just being a poet that does open mics and stuff can be like a lot for like anxiety and stuff. It can be like it could get you really anxious, nervous, and like settings, like I said, could be very nerve-wracking and everything. So it's just like, I don't know, but I also do think it's a great opportunity, and if I could, I would like to have more people. Like, my poetry is to have the people around me feel like this person gets what I'm feeling. So I usually will always make something that's like either for me, how I feel, or to make somebody else, whoever's listening, be like, oh, somebody else gets it. I'm not going crazy that I feel like this. So
how do you feel when you have one poem about domestic violence, am I correct?
yes.
How do you feel being 13 and writing about something like that, and adults will be like, she don't know, she ain't even been through nothing like that, you know what I mean? Like, what would your response be to a comment like that? Like, you know, she's young, she hasn't experienced something like that.
You're right, but I feel like if I'm wrong, correct me. Like, if I said something that's completely wrong, okay, tell me, inform me. But I'm simply going from like shows I've watched, and not just some fake shows, real life shows where people have been in domestic abusive relationships and they couldn't get out, or they could get out but they were terrified to get out because like, well, what happened to me? What about the kid? What about this? And it's just like, I just always want somebody to know you're not alone. Even if I'm not feeling it, somebody else gets what you're going through, and you're not just
I like that.
Crazy.
Right. You've been watching, Mom, she been watching Tyler Perry? She be watching Tyler Perry at home?
We watch Fatal Attraction. That's our favorite show.
It's a favorite show, Fatal Attraction. I love it. So what's next for you in 2023 in regards to poetry?
Well, I have a brand. I don't know. Well, I do know, but I have a brand photo shoot after this, and we're going to.
I'm sorry for taking your time. I apologize. She got a whole brand photo shoot after this.
But that's my poetry brand. It's my brand, but it started from like I'm going to make an I am poem, and then I have my new I am collection. It's going to be more collections, but currently that's the collection I have.
I am collection. That's a dope collection name. Dang, dude. That's a great collection. Did you come up with that yourself?
I did decide to, it just was like, everybody's always having these affirmation poems.
Right.
And I was like, at first, when I started poetry, I was like, I am what? I ain't doing no I am poem. I ain't doing no I am anything. Because I always felt like, not affirmations were stupid, but affirmations wouldn't work on me. So I was like, this ain't gonna work. Manifestation don't work. None of this work. So once I really got in touch with everything and like started to really look at the stuff I was reading and how, like, say I'm saying something positive, I am beautiful, then like maybe not the first time I say it I'll believe it, but how after you really start to say it, how even if it's positive or negative, how it'll work. And you just have to really think about what you're saying, think about what you're thinking, and think about what you're letting yourself go through. And I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you. I love affirmations. When my daughter comes with me, she does affirmations because I think that they are so important and they're so powerful. So your brand, I Am, tell us where can they find your brand? Where can they buy some I Am collection merch?
Well, I have a Instagram, and you can find me at lemonade_dream on Instagram, and inside of my bio it'll be the link to it, and you can go straight to the link, and it'll have a little thing pop up, a little thing you scroll up on, and then
the link tree. Is
that what
it is?
But
okay.
It'll like it's like link tree, and then inside the link tree is this, and then you click on this, and then you scroll up, and then you see my whole entire website.
Okay.
And whatever you want, we have hoodies, sweatshirts, crop tops, mugs, like whatever you want on there, you can find. We have more than that, but that's just what I'm thinking of right now.
Who's helping you do all of this? Because I mean, I don't want to say that you can't do it yourself,
but it's a lot to do yourself.
But it's a lot to do yourself.
Yeah.
So who's helping you do all of this?
So I did the poem. I decided on like the designs and stuff, but my mom, she does help me with the actual website, and she helped me figure out what I wanted to put there, like, because I could, but I can't. Not saying I can't, but I can't. So, like, if it was my bio on there, and it's like, I don't know what I want to put there, she'll be like, all right, well, let's think of some stuff. Let's brainstorm. And so we start brainstorming, we start thinking. She's like, all right, I'm going to give you a little bit of this. I want you to work on that, and you can see if you like this, or you can see if you like this, or you can see if you like this. So it'll be like one little prompt, and then I figure out the rest, and then I'll figure out the rest, or I'll figure out the rest, or whatever, and we'll figure it out.
So you're very busy creating a whole brand, becoming like you're doing far more than people twice and three times your age, right? You're writing poetry. You've created a whole brand. You're selling T-shirts and merch and hoodies and crop tops and tank tops and sweatpants, suits, and all of that stuff, right? Socks. Get you some socks. I want some.
I do want some socks.
I need some I Am socks. I love
feet.
Socks. Yeah. I Am feet. The I Am foot collection.
Oh.
Mom, put that in the thing. The I Am foot collection. I like it.
Just might.
So your mom is your biggest support, right? How does that feel?
I feel like being managed in general can be a little overwhelming because I'm used to.
Okay, listen to her being media trained. Who trained her? Did y'all hear that? I think being managed in general could be overwhelming. I almost had her, y'all. I almost had her.
I feel like I personally like my independence, but when I need help, it's like I gotta get help, don't I? Because I can't. I think I can do it all by myself, and I don't need nobody's help. So when I actually need somebody's help, it's like, you know what? Hey, about that. So it's just like, ugh. Yeah. But my mom has been there the whole time, so it wasn't like I had to turn to nobody. She was always there.
Right.
And when it was time to actually get from just the one open mic and like maybe we should start a Instagram, social media. It started from Instagram to Facebook to TikTok to possibly now YouTube. But it's like she's always been like my biggest support. Even when I've grown more support and like started my poetry family, it was like she was always there through it all. So it was like I always had somebody to help. And even though the managing can be overwhelming, because it's like I want to go to sleep, and like not even if it's late, I'm like I don't want to do this. I'd rather be taking a nap. And she's just like, well, we gotta do it. And even though I don't like everything about the managing, I do like actually having somebody in my corner and being able to do all these things that lead me to my end result, to people being like, who is this little girl? And not me just being somebody at school who goes home from school, watches TV, takes a nap, and I'm fine. Like, but I mean, that's not a bad lifestyle, but I'm simply saying, I'm simply saying it's like more, and I can do what I actually like, and it's not like I'm just doing this because it's good to pass time with. No, it's like I actually like this.
Right. So how do you find time to like be a kid? Like, do you still have time to like be a kid? Because it seems like, you know, you're always if you're not in school, I would imagine you're writing or you're doing something for the brand or for the business. How do you find time to just be a kid?
I did do volleyball at some point, if that counts, but it was like I had time to not just be at home on Netflix eating some food because I'm bored, or like just doing stuff like that. Like I could actually, it's not straight poetry. Like I'm not inhaling poetry, exhaling poetry, and just like breathing off of it. But it's like I still get to do other stuff, but it does take up a lot of time sometimes. But I'm still proud with being able to say I am where I am, and will hopefully get past where I am in the best way possible.
You're not living a normal 13-year-old life. Like, you're not living a normal 13-year-old life. Like, normal 13-year-olds aren't on stages once, twice, 3 times a week. They're not on podcasts and getting interviewed, right? So kudos to you for that. Now,
thank you.
I wanna get all up in your business now. So I'm gonna do this right. This is when it's about to get spicy right now.
You're getting a little comfortable over there. I'm scared.
Yeah. So how's the teenage life going? Because I got an 11-year-old and she like coming, you know what I'm saying, like right underneath you, like 2 years behind. So how's the teenage life going?
The teenage life, I feel like life be lifing.
Life be lifing.
However you want to put that, life be lifing. But I do think that it all depends on what you're going through, what somebody else is going through, because the people you surround yourself with, they also can be going through something, and it's just like you're able to feel what they're feeling. Like I don't think I am able to feel empathy. Like for some people I am, but I feel a lot of sympathy for some people, and it's just like I see what's happening with you. I want to help what's happening with you, but I don't always know how to do that. So sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna write a poem. Does this explain this? And then they're like, yeah, but I couldn't put that in words. And it's just like, not exactly I'm able to help them, but like I said, they know I'm just able to feel this, and it's okay to feel this. I'm not just feeling this, and I need to stop feeling this for whatever reason. I need to just let myself feel it without wallowing, but just allow it to happen.
Are you like famous at school?
No, I'm so glad I'm not. I do not want anything to.
Oh, you're gonna be famous at school now.
No, please.
You're gonna be famous at so the people at school, they don't know yet. They haven't like caught wind of it. All of them.
All of them know, but
all of them know. All of them know, and you're not like famous at school yet. I feel like I feel like they like. I feel like you got to be school famous.
No, because when I started, it was like the first thing I ever did was at school, but it wasn't exactly at school. It was a program at school.
Right.
And we went to a different location to actually do it, the poetry slam. But then I started doing open mics, and someone was like, "Hey, this look like you." I was like, "What? That's not me. That's not me." It was like, "This is you. Sound like you too." I'm like, "No, that's not me."
They saw you on Instagram or TikTok?
It was like 2-3 people that first realized. And I was like, oh Lord, just unrealized that. And then later on, I did a poem for when I was in 7th grade. I'm now in 8th grade, but I had it.
Oh, so you graduating this year?
Yeah.
You gonna get the valedictorian speech? They're gonna ask you to do a poem. What if they ask you to do a poem at graduation?
They did last year.
They did last year? They gonna ask you to do it again this year.
Please no. We want to keep all of that.
They gonna ask you to do it again this year.
World.
We should. What school you go to? What school you graduating from?
Don't kidnap me.
What school you go? Okay. So, what if I what if I did the graduation speech and then you and we did like a tandem poem?
I did want to do a tandem poem, but I don't know if they gonna let you in there and on the stage.
No, they gonna hire me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they gonna hire me.
All right, manifestation.
Come on
okay.
now.
Okay.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm Backpack Jeff. Y'all better ask. You better hope I got room in my calendar to do your graduation.
But I had this. Oh, okay.
Go ahead. The water's right there.
No, it was my.
I know. That's why I said the water's right there. Go ahead and wash that down.
I'm gonna wash that down. Water break.
So, like, dang, you're gonna be famous in high school. I feel like, because there's no way that you're going to continue to do what you're doing and excel at the level that you're excelling. Especially you're having a clothing brand. You're gonna be asking your friends, "Yo, can y'all model some of my clothes? We can do a photo shoot together," and we gonna be like that, right? And then people gonna be like, "Yo, you're famous."
I don't know how I feel about popularity.
I know, but it's the curse.
It is.
It's the curse of the gifted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Wale thing. That's not me. I gotta give that up to Wale. But I love that. It's an album called Curse of the Gifted.
Okay, Wale. Okay.
Yeah. Wale's a huge inspiration. So like, has people that you don't know come up to you yet and been like, "Oh my gosh, I love you," or like, remember when we met? Because I get that all the time, and I be forgetting. I meet so many people, so like, I be like, "Hey, yeah." So like, has people done that to you yet?
I have had some people do both things. Like I've had multiple people be like, "I saw you at this place," and I was like, "Huh?" Mm-hmm. My mom was like, it's another thing coming up. Do you want to do this? They asked for you, and I'm like,
oh, people asking for you now.
Oh, anyways, so like,
out here spicy.
they were like, my mom was like, they asked for you, and I'm like, who that? And my mom be like, remember you met them there? I'm like, oh yeah.
You don't remember?
Okay, I do remember.
You do remember?
It be taking me a second. I be feeling so bad because they asked for me, and I just be like,
I don't be remembering. Like it'd be like hard for me to remember everybody. So I'm gonna give you a couple of tips, right? So one tip that I was given, it was when you forget, like, hey, dang it, man, I forgot your name. Remind me where I met you from again, or remind me of your name and how we met. So like that's just a little tip, right? That's just a superstar tip. You know,
and it's just like a little. You just slide that in there.
Yeah,
it's not like a. Hey, what your name is? Right.
Yeah, it's all about how you say it. You know what I'm saying? So like, has anyone ever, like, have you ever been out and people came up to you on the street? Because like that's coming too. I'm just letting you know that all of this stuff is coming if it hasn't happened yet. Like, you're gonna be in line getting some ice cream. They're gonna be like, "Is that lemonade? Hey, how you doing? What's up? I saw you at the thing." Has that happened to you yet?
One time. I was at Target on my way inside of Target, and I was like, I don't remember exactly what he had said, but it was like, "Poet." I was like, "Oh." I turned my head. He's like, "Yeah, I saw you at Dope and Classy." I'm like, it wasn't it was like I'm so scared, and it's not like I'm actually terrified of this man, but it's like because I'm not used to being noticed out in public. I'm used to just I'm used to family noticing me, but I'm not used to like poetry people noticing me or people I've done like an event at. People I've met at an event, or just people that have seen me at an event, just being like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh."
People gonna start to notice you, and that's how you know when you're talented. That's how you know when you're gifted. That's how you know when you've made an impact on people. Is that when people start to take notice of you outside of your craft, they gonna start calling you Lemonade Dream, or Lemonade, or just Dream. Right there. That's how you know when you've made an impression on people. You've made a huge impression on people. Are you? I'm about to get really into her business. Y'all watch this. Watch how I slide this in here real poetic, right? Are you going to prom this year?
I hope not.
Why not?
I do kind of want to, but that's only because I know it's like not a one-time thing. I'm going to have it again. But
yeah, you can have it again.
But you know how COVID be and people wasn't able to have it at some point? So I'm like, do I want to possibly miss the next one? Or do I want to do this, even though I really don't want to go nowhere wearing no dress?
Anybody ask you to prom yet? Oh, look, did y'all see that? Did y'all see the neck? What she did?
If they did, I would say no, because I'm good going by myself.
You gonna go by yourself?
If I do go, I want to go by myself or with a friend. But it gotta be a person I really am friends with.
I want my daughter to respond just like you. I swear, yo. Let me call her. I love it. Mom, how you feel about her going to prom this year?
I was looking at the dress this morning.
Are you ready for it?
A yellow dress from Lemonade. I was looking at the dress this morning.
Oh, she ready for it.
She's obsessed.
She's obsessed with it. She loves it. She loves it. Yo, that's absolutely.
So she's not going with a boy though. But that's
she ain't going. Yeah, I mean, don't have to. I love it. I love it. What are, as we kind of close out, what are you excited about this year?
I'm just excited we're going to manifest no more things coming back, like COVID.
Amen.
Possibly Ebola. But none of the stuff that has been life-stopping, world-stopping, for a lot of that stuff to just go away. And for people to actually be able to go back to living their lives and really be able to live your life and not just be trying to dodge COVID with your mask on, try and hide. But it's like you can really just go back to living again.
That's good.
Oh, and also possibly becoming, well, not possibly. I want to become better as a person and as a poet.
And as a poet. I'm going to say 2023. The poet laureate for somewhere where she lives, because I ain't telling, but the poet laureate for wherever she lives. That's what I'm gonna say. And I feel like now I feel like they be telling where people live at. They be like, of PG County, of Alexandria, of... Hold
up. Why you gotta get all that out?
Right.
You be like, I'm the poet laureate.
Yeah, I'm the poet laureate of the DMV. Like, I'm just one of the poet laureates. The whole time I lived down in Richmond, Virginia. No, I love it. All right, so if you were... I wanted to do this, and I thought about this when I was on the way to get y'all. If you were given the valedictorian speech for graduation this year, what would you tell your class? How would you encourage your classmates and your peers? What would you say? Go.
Oh, Lord. So about that, last year I wasn't doing the best with, I haven't been the best with motivational poems at the time, and I'm still not the best, but I'm working on it. And when they asked me to do it, I was like, but the lady was like, so I was like, uh-oh. And when I actually ended up doing it, it was like, how am I going to encourage these people that I don't know? And these people not going to really care about what I'm saying. They just ready to get about this school. And it's just like so weird, because when I did make the poem, it was like, this school sucks. But the principal was like, you can't say that. The parents had their kids go there. You can't say that. So I'm like, I got to make the school sound good, don't I? Mm-hmm. So it was like, I didn't end up making the school sound good. I was just like, I know y'all ready to leave, so I'm going to try and make it more like that this year if I do end up doing it.
Okay. All right. Well, she's going to do the valedictorian speech and the poem this year when she graduates from wherever she graduates from. Oh my goodness. I want to say thank you for number one, for being a light that young girls can look up to, because they need more role models like yourself. Even at 13 years old, you are definitely a role model. And thank you for coming to Busboys and Poets in Columbia and featuring. You did a phenomenal job. Everybody missed you this month. They was like, where's the little girl at? And I'm like, she's not here. She featured last month, y'all. Like, what? Like, what do y'all want me to do? I can't do anything.
I saw that flyer.
There was nothing on the flyer. And I also want to say thank you for coming and sharing your time first and foremost, but then also sharing your story with us, because I think it's super important to kind of see where people are, and then 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I want to do this again and bring you back and kind of see where you're at, because I know there are only amazing things in store for you. Congratulations on the I Am collection. I can't wait to see more of that. I think you sold some that night when you featured, but I'm looking forward to seeing absolutely more of that. And if there's any way that I can be of assistance to you, please let me know. I know Mom will reach out. I know I'm not the best with getting back to people, but that's why I have an assistant. I have to give you my assistant's information because she's way better at that than I am. I swear to God. But if there's anything that I can do to help you along the way, I am certainly willing to do that. You are a leader of the next generation. We still got for like right now a little bit. But you're the leader of this generation and the next generation. And I'm super happy for you. I'm super proud of you. Any final closing words that you want to offer to the people before I...
For the person, thank you for all of the opportunities you have presented to me. Thank you for allowing me in here and letting me talk, and also talking to me, so I'm not just talking to myself. And thank you for just being helpful and like always being like, I got this. You need help? Like, I don't know how else to put that. Yeah. But yes, thank you, and hi people.
Hey y'all, what's up? One more thing before I go. Do you have Black History Month poems?
I have slavery
poems. 15
poems.
minutes. Can you? Okay. I need 15 minutes of positive, empowering Black History Month poems by February 28th.
Oh, that's somebody's birthday, we know. But
February 28th.
We're going to attempt. I'm not going to say I won't.
Okay.
But I'm going to attempt as best attempting I can.
By February the 1st, I want you to let me know where you are.
Okay.
I need to, I need to have them memorized. Like, I need the 15 minutes to be memorized. Yeah, that's a difficult part, right? To write and memorize. So it's like 7 weeks. If you can do that, I got a bag for you. If you can't do that this year, this is annual, I can get you the bag next year.
I want the bag this year. So I got to do it this year. Okay.
So you got to do it this year. So let me know where you are
by
February 1st. Because I was looking for a fourth, and I knew it had to be, I wanted to be a girl because they already requested, well, me because it's me. And then I'm the one who's booking it. But then they requested somebody else. And then I have a girl flying in from Atlanta. And I'm like, I need another girl that would be like fire. And you would just be like, you would be unexpected.
Thank you.
You would be unexpected. So by February the 1st, if you guys can let me know where you are, And again, if it doesn't happen this month, I have some more opportunities next year for February. But I also may have some opportunities in March as well, because March is Women's History Month. So I may have some opportunities there. But keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching for sure. And I say that because I have so many opportunities for poets. And I want to give them to the people who are actually out there doing the work. And you're one of the people that are actually out there doing the work.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get that bag together. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of In My Bag with Backpack Jeff. Y'all know the motto here. And y'all know my motto is winners write history, losers become a part of the story, as well as always stay in your bag so you never got to chase a bag. And with that being said, we out.
Peace.